Hello, everyone. I'm Adam with Demiplane. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. It is going to be a fun one. We've got some pretty things to show you. We're going to go through latest updates, as always, what we are currently working on. There is so much activity going on in the Demiplane virtual offices where, constantly connecting via video. We do have an office in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's an awesome place. The team's going to check it out here in a couple of weeks for a little team gathering. But it's typically not too many people in there because we're very distributed as a team, and it's really awesome that technology allows us to do that these days. And so in the virtual offices, though, lots and lots of work going on behind the scenes under the hood right now. It's This is a very exciting time. This is my favorite part, probably, of seeing things start to come together, and it's really exciting. I have a goofy grin on my face most meetings that I get out of. So exciting times here at Demiplane. But what we're working on currently, we will talk about what's upcoming and what's on deck. And then, as always, you can ask me any questions that you would like. You can do that in chat right now, with the prefacing the question with the word question. And Demibot, our magical assistant that helps us each and every week, will gather those for me, and I will get to as many as I can at the end of the stream. So let's jump right in with latest updates. So for Pathfinder Nexus Phase 2 of Early Access, we are live with content bundles. So we went live last week with bundles. So this would have been the ultimate bundle that collects everything that belongs to Pathfinder, and it will include, new versions of the bundle will include everything that is available for purchase for Pathfinder going forward. But we had the ultimate bundle, rule books, Lost Omens, and standalone adventures last week. We had a couple of little tweaks that we had to do through the week and through this weekend for some performance, and making sure that some of those edge cases were caught and some of the rough edges smoothed out. But bundles are now live, and you can purchase those. And really excited about having that key piece of the infrastructure in place as we continue down the path towards launch. The key for this week is to share that we are also live with our first adventure path, which is Abomination Vaults. Now, we don't have an Adventure Paths bundle yet, but that is going to happen the moment that we have our second adventure path out. And so that's going to be pretty soon, and you'll see an Adventure Paths bundle happen there. That's where you can secure your 15% discount for all adventure paths going forward. So we're working on, we've got Abomination Vaults out, which is a massive mega dungeon. It's got so many I have not been able to play through it yet, but as we have been digitizing it for the platform, I have so many evil plans that I cannot wait to enact as I run it. So this is one of those where I read it and I knew that I needed to run it as opposed to playing in it as a character. And so I'm looking forward to doing that really soon with Abomination Vaults. It's a really great adventure for you to sink your teeth into. And so check that one out. But we will have the other adventure paths coming online, and then we're going to be scrambling to catch up the catalog as quickly as we can. And we're getting closer and closer to that goal of being completely caught up with Pathfinder content while we're in early access. And then that way, when we are ready to fully launch Pathfinder Nexus, we're going to have all the back catalog caught up, and we will be able to stay on top of all the new content as it comes. We've got new content that we're working on right now with the Dark Archive. So can't wait to see that book. I am a huge fan of psionics in every edition of every game that has ever had them. Telekinesis is my favorite superpower. So I look for an excuse to play telekinetic characters in anything that I play as often as I can. But we are also working on that from the content perspective. And again, really getting close to getting everything caught up. We are working on the character engine. So again, all of this effort going on behind the scenes. These are the goofy grins that I was referencing earlier. I can't wait to see what is going to come together with this. It's going to be very powerful. It's going to be very flexible, and this is going to be very important for the platform that we're building here at Demiplane, because as we are creating this for Pathfinder as the pilot and the pioneer use case of everything that's going on with our character engine. Segueing now into the other thing that we're working on with World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade Nexus. It's going to be the platform's going to be in place for us to then move to character management for these other games that we're going to be supporting. And it's very important that we had the flexibility and the power in the platform to do that, because if we had to stop and build a bespoke solution for every one of the games that we have in our pipeline, it's not going to work. And so this is where the work that we've been putting in these last few months is really going to start to pay off. And I'm excited for everyone to see that when that time comes. For World of Darkness Early Access, again, that's going to be very soon. Expect to hear some news about that in the next, we'll say we're talking weeks and not months at this point. Is the I never do timelines, but I will give you that one. So that's going to happen for early access for Vampire Nexus. And today I wanted to show off some of the screens and some of the UI that is going to be coming together for that. And so Darkness is coming. You can see we've got a powers listing. And so these are the parts of the game that I remember the first time that I played a Vampire the Masquerade game. This would have been back in probably 1998 or so, but maybe 97. But as I was playing that, I remember sitting on a friend's couch and just reading the entire Powers chapter, because everything was always so unique and interesting. And of course, I ended up playing a gangrel, and I love those protean powers. But all of this is starting to come together, and it is super, super handy to be able to see this, to be able to have the tooltips for the skills where you can understand what they are at a quick glance. All of it is really great. We have all the clans in the libraries that we have here. You can click through any of those clans, and I think we've got another screen. The next one there, we've got our Ventru, the Clan of Kings, coming together here. I always wanted to show up a Ventru anytime I was in a group with one, but whatever you do with Ventru and however you play out there, we've got these clan primers, and this is where all of the information is aggregated in one place. And this is going to be really great for Vampire the Masquerade, because Ventru information is spread out across several books. So as new books come, they fill in the blanks more about what's going on with the clan. And so this is going to be a one-stop shop, a place where you can navigate and look at all the information about the Ventru in one place, and all the other clans and all the disciplines and so on. And so it's going to be really, really handy. And then you can see here's a lore sheet treatment that we have. So we have lore sheets that you can also access there. We have merits and flaws, antagonists. So all the different game elements are coming together, and you'll be able to quickly reference those on the fly. And even in the early access state that we have coming together with this is already having a huge impact on games that I am running. I'm actually introducing my older kids to Vampire the Masquerade a little bit for the first time, and it's been a really interesting experience to kind of pull them into that, and some of the fascinating lore, and again, as children, maybe not all the lore, but either way, pulling them into playing playing this game. And this tool set even in this early access phase, with being able to access the digital reader and this compendium, this lore and this game mechanic compendium, it has been a godsend. So really excited for people to get their hands on this. And then, of course, we are going to be working on the character management piece of this as well this year, as we are continuing to move forward with that, pioneer use case with Pathfinder. So looking forward to all of that. Darkness is coming. And then on the upcoming front, this is going to look, pretty familiar with Pathfinder Nexus. These are the things that are on deck and the things that we're working on. For next week, I did want to share for everybody, I'm going to be traveling, so there will not be a new dev update next week. So next Tuesday morning US time, no dev update. There will be a Children of Erte episode though. So there is also a new Children of Erte episode tonight. So last week was our after show on the Erte. It was great. You can check out the VOD now with Jen Kretschmer as the guest this month. But we do have a new episode that is going to happen tonight. And apparently it has something to do with parties and something to do with rats. Let's see how that all goes. It should be a lot of fun. All right, I think that is everything. Going to questions now. So if you have questions, let me see. I've only got one in here right now. So if this is how this goes, then I am going to just answer this one, and I'm going to split. But if you have questions, I am happy to stay and answer them too. You can ask those right now in chat by using the word question in front of the question, and I'll get to as many as you have. So first of all, first and only right now, Anchor 89, the Church of the Anvil welcomes all. Check out Abomination Vaults on Foundry. The module is awesome. And with Nexus, it's so easy to run. So there is not a question in there, but you snuck one through on me. So congratulations, Anchor 89. But what I will say is this is one of the really core conceits of what we are trying to do with Pathfinder Nexus, and really the entire platform that we're putting together for Nexus here at Demiplane. And that is that owning this content and being able to access this content in this way really is kind of at the first part of the process here, right? So it's like it's almost like you're unlocking that game content at a higher layer, and then that can be used in any of the tools that you like to use. So whether that's Foundry or any other VTT out there, it is really great for being able to use this kind of thing alongside any of those other tools, because some groups don't need maps and tokens, and they're going to be playing Theater of the Mind primarily, and we see tons of groups are doing that today. Demiplane's great for that with video that you can connect with, if that's the kind of thing that you're doing. If you want to play with virtual tabletops, dedicated VTTs out there, then having this content on Nexus and being able to have the content open in tabs and being able to reference things with the tooltips and all of that quickly and easily really does work great together. In the former life, where did some of this digital tool set work for the world's oldest role-playing game. In that life, I saw how well those things, fit together. And that's certainly a great use case here for what we're doing for these other games that we're supporting, and allowing you to be able to use that in those different places. And over time, the community will end up making tools. We will do what we can to assist to make some of that transition and that translation even easier. But either way, really great to be able to use in the different tools, other tools that you want to use, because it's a great core foundational place to have the content in this kind of format, in this kind of form. And then once we add character management, this is where we fully realize also this is where things really start to sing, and so that's what we're working towards. All right, we've got a few more questions here. I talked long enough to make that the case. Risa Malima, any updates on what's your favorite dinosaur? And see, this is the thing. Every time this one comes up, it really is just kind of a week to week thing, because I think about dinosaurs far more frequently than I probably should. And as those thoughts happen, I don't know if it's recency bias, because it's not like I'm seeing dinosaurs out there or anything. It's not like that, but it's possibly recency of thought bias. And so, right now, I did see a particular Dominion movie out there, and unfortunately, the movie might not be. It's not my favorite, but the thing that I can say is the visuals and getting to see dinosaurs in some semblance of artificial life is always enjoyable for me, and so I definitely had quite a bit of affinity for the little baby velociraptor. So I won't spoil anything in the movie if you want to watch it. But yeah, so I would say that I am definitely on a raptor kick as of this week. But again, ask me next week. It's probably going to be a different answer. All right, Caffeine, when will you be showing a preview of the character builder? So a few weeks ago, we did show a few screens of the character builder that we have. There are parts of the character builder that are working currently, but they have not been dolled up or really spruced up in any way. So not ready for people to get eyes on that, because honestly, the making everything look gorgeous is kind of a last step in the process for us. So as we start to get some things in a place where it's going to look better and look a little more like it's going to make sense, then we will start some of those previews. Right now, the important part for us is that everything, the inner workings of that, is coming together, and that's where all of our focus is, because we know that we're going to be able to polish it and make it look great. But in other words, right now, if I showed you some of the things that are working, it would essentially be like, oh, that's great. Something is happening behind the scenes that we can't see, that we're really excited about, that everything's connecting like it should, but it's not quite ready for that public consumption. So we did show some screens. This is how everything's coming together a few weeks ago. So if you missed that, you can check out the VOD, for sure. But we will continue to show some different parts of it as we go forward, with some screens. And then we, again, as soon as we get this into a state that is getting closer to release, we will start to preview some of that and demo some of that here on these dev updates. All right, Kato Flex, who's your favorite Marvel villain? Wow. These favorite dinosaur, favorite Marvel villain, like, this is always so hard, because it's like, picking between your kids or something. But we will say, again, at least right now, and I reserve the right to change my mind at some point, but we will say right now, I have been watching a ton of X-Men the animated series on Disney Plus, and so that was a formational show for me as a 10 or 11-year-old, and so when it first came out. So I will say that I am really, I just saw an episode last night that made me remember. It was like one of those Ratatouille Anton Ego biting into the dish, nostalgia kind of jolts, but definitely thinking through some wonderful times with Magneto in the past, and so yeah, that's what I will say. I will say that I just had to purchase a new automobile. I won't get into the reasons that I had to do that, where my 17-year-old son hit a parked car with the other vehicle that caused me to have to purchase a new vehicle. But in purchasing said vehicle, I did have to go and get the plate and the registration and all that. And so I will say that the license plate that's going to be on the new car is uncanny. And it's going to, so I theme all of my cars. I also have a tag that says Run D&D, and it's got, D&D all over it. And I call it the Dragon Wagon. So the new car, is going to have the plate of uncanny, and it's going to have be completely bedazzled in X-Men all over it. So yeah, Magneto, at least as of today. Ask me in another month, and we'll see where we're at. All right, I think that is all of the questions. We're going to quit a little early today, and I'm going to get back to work. Appreciate everyone joining us, and really excited about what lies ahead. And again, reminder, next week, going to be traveling, no dev update, but then I'll be back in 2 Tuesdays for the next one. Hope everyone has a great one. Later, Gators.